Here are the latest App Store games from November, and a few from October. Seven Knights 2 is a console-like RPG on the App Store. It has incredible special effects, fluid combat, decent enough voice acting, okay, sometimes it's quite cringy, and there are impressive cinematics here. It's so demanding that the dev have put an FPS cap of 45 FPS here to ensure devices can play at high settings without seeing big FPS drops. You can switch characters on the fly, collect and upgrade your heroes, and face different enemies, from strong and ghastly bosses to an army of evil dogs or maybe goblins and orcs. The biggest downsides for this one is that it has no controller support and it features auto battle mechanics. Thankfully, you can manually attack, which I suggest as it makes the game much more challenging and fun. Seven Knights 2 is available on iPhone and iPad. It is best played on an iPhone 11 or later, an iPhone SE 2, an iPad Pro, or the latest iPad Air, iPad Mini or iPad, or just anything with at least 3 GB of RAM. Rocket League Sideswipe is now available worldwide. I reviewed this free game 2 weeks ago on my channel, and I praised it for its wonderful mobile conversion of the full PC and console version. Instead of porting over the third-person driving perspective, which may be uncomfortable on the touchscreen, Psyonix have turned the camera into a side-scrolling perspective. It works very well with either the touchscreen controls or with a physical controller. Matches only last 2 minutes for 1v1 or 2v2 gameplay, which is perfect for casual gameplay. It also has no ads or in-app purchases in its pre-season. In-app purchases will definitely come, but I doubt that it will make the game pay to win, as Psyonix are a trusted developer when it comes to free-to-play or monetization. Rocket League Sideswipe is available on iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. I remember I first talked about the Mac version of Sparklite in early 2020. Now PlayDigis have brought it to iPhone and iPad. I hope they can bring an Apple TV version in the future, as it would be perfect there, especially since this one has full controller support on iOS and iCloud backup between devices. Sparklite is a wonderful pixel action adventure roguelite set in a colourful world of Geodia, if that's how you say it. The kink to this game is that the land is ever changing, meaning you'll always come across new monsters and titans and puzzles. The goal of the game is to help the locals rebuild the refuge and save the environment from the greedy Baron and harness the power of Sparklite. I don't really know what any of that means though. Sparklite costs $6.99 USD. It is available on iPhone and iPad. Originally released on PC and console in 2016, a mobile adaptation of Shaolin vs. Wutang, I don't know how to say this name, was ported to the App Store in November. The game was inspired by the dev's love of old kung fu movies, so it's basically a love letter to those films, from the characters, locations, music, and obviously the in-depth fighting moves for each character. Now yes, the game doesn't have anywhere near the same graphical fidelity as the PC version, which is really disappointing. It's honestly on the level of a PS2 fighting game, but I believe the game still features most of the same content as the PC and console version. Full controller support, 2-player couch co-op, 5 game modes, 27 characters, 20 stages, and an Apple TV version. Thanks for that. It's also freaking cheap. It's only $1.99 USD. Just note, the game requires iOS or iPadOS 14 or later, and an A12 Bionic chip or later. I've been wondering when TOWNSCAPER would come to iOS, after it was released on PC and Switch in August. For whatever reason, the iOS version took a while to release. I'm happy to report though that this mobile version of TOWNSCAPER is just excellent. Simple touch controls, check. Full controller support, check. Full keyboard support on iPad, check. 60 FPS support, check. Now, TOWNSCAPER won't be for everyone because there is no goal and no real gameplay here. All you do is just build towns. It's like a big toy. That's literally it. The game shines, however, with turning, these cute little blocks into towns. You'll create little houses, arches, stairways, bridges, backyards, and so on and so forth. You can build endlessly in like every single direction. It's incredibly smart game design and coding, and I hope it wins an Apple Design Award next year. TOWNSCAPER is available on iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and Apple M1 based Macs. I discovered this one thanks to the iOS Gaming Reddit page this month. In My Shadow is all about using shadows as platforms. It's a similar idea to Projection First Light on arcade, but with a bigger focus on puzzle solving and an arcade level structure. In My Shadow tells the story of a girl as you unfold her journey of loss, nostalgia, and acceptance. The game is also on console and PC, but the dev said on Reddit that the iOS version is the most polished and refined version. You can also connect a controller too, but the touchscreen controls are perfect. There are 50 levels spread across the walls of 4 rooms, so it will take you a while to finish this one. In My Shadow costs $4.99 USD. It is available on iPhone, iPad, the latest iPod Touch, and Apple M1 based Macs. I don't think anyone was really asking for a mobile version of Slender, The Arrival, but here we are. You most likely know what is happening in this one. It was released in 2013 after all. So the basics. You're not alone. There is this lanky, slender man, and he's stalking you wherever you go. The game follows the events after Slender, the 8 pages. You are armed with a flashlight and will look at stuff, collect stuff, and look for a way into the next area, whilst avoiding you-know-who. The App Store version also has leaderboards for online competition. I believe this isn't on the PC and console version. Not that exciting, but that's a thing. Slender the Arrival is free to try, with an in-app purchase of $4.99 to unlock the full game. It is available on iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and Apple M1 based Macs. It really annoys me that this game has 2.1 stars on the Australian App Store and 3.9 on the US App Store. People are giving it 1 star because it only lets you play 1 level for free. It's idiotic reviews like this one that are going to push people away from an otherwise fantastic premium skating game. The ramp allows you to try the first stage for free to see if you enjoy the style of the game and its hard to master controls. Then if you like it, you can purchase the full game and have access to all the levels. Some guy said it was $15, that's completely bollocks. Plus, developers need to make a living, and I prefer this healthy monetization model over seeing heaps of ads and in-app purchases to access more content. If you're interested, the ramp is available on iPhone, iPad, the latest iPod Touch, and Apple M1 based Macs. In Pinstripe, you play as Teddy, an estranged ex-minister. He must venture through a snowy wilderness to find Boo, his kidnapped 3-year-old daughter, and her kidnapper, Mr. Pinstripe. This game really surprised me. I had never played this one before, and the quality of the visuals, voice acting, and animations is really well done. It's also quite a dark game, and it will make you think about your actions a lot, and life itself. When a game has that effect on a player, it's probably doing something right. It's a shame that the game has no controller support though, but thankfully the touch screen buttons or controls are very easy to move, shoot with your slingshot, and interacting with puzzles and so on. Pinstripe costs only $1.99. Amazing value. It is available on iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and Apple M1 based Macs. Our last game is Moncage, which is an excellent narrative puzzle game. It all takes place on a cube. Each side of the cube has a unique world inside. These worlds are not random to each other, they're actually linked in one way or another. It's up to you to play around by swiping on screen to link them. Doing so will unravel a little story, and there are photos to collect that will help uncover clues. You have to really like puzzle games to enjoy this one, but having a story is always a bonus. Moncage costs $3.99 USD. It is available on iPhone, iPad, the latest iPod Touch, and Apple M1 based Macs. Here are some bonus games. Monument Valley 2 has just added a free special chapter, The Lost Forest. This chapter adds 4 scenes with the hope of inspiring you to sign the Play for Forest petition and declare our shared interest in forest conservation. In November, Feral Interactive added the Tales of Valor expansion as an in-app purchase of $3.99 USD to Company of Heroes. This expansion includes 3 new mini-campaigns, each offering a fresh perspective on the fighting in the Battle of Normandy. Plus, 9 new vehicles are here, distributed between the game's 4 factions for use in the skirmish mode. Feral Interactive have also recently released a free version of Grid Autosport, known as Custom Edition. It provides a little trial of the full game with no ads or time-locked mechanics. Instead, you can race for free in 3 different events, as many times as you wish. You can pay for whatever you want, making the game cheaper than the full game, or you can choose to purchase all content at once and you will still pay the same as the main game. Feral said the purpose of the custom edition is to provide a sampler of the intense wheel-to-wheel racing that Grid Autosport offers on mobile. After being released on iPhone and iPad in 2017, Quest Hunter was recently brought to Apple TV. It's an action RPG where your choices drive how the story pans out. The game is free to try, with an in-app purchase of $9.99 USD to buy the full game. PUBG New State has landed. It's really exactly the same experience as PUBG Mobile, it just takes place on a new map. And it does not feature next-gen graphics like it was said to. What a load of baloney. The biggest upgrade for this game, however, is the fact that it has mouse and keyboard support, which is really rare for a game like this. Inspired by the likes of Monument Valley, Soullight is a cozy dystopian isometric puzzler where you control multiple characters to solve puzzles and explore the environmentally told story. What do you think of this month's latest games? Which games are you going to try out? Let me know in the comments. I am seriously impressed with the quality of iOS games of late, with a range of high-end games to premium indie titles. Next month is also going to be huge with the release of Alien Isolation for iOS. This will be one of, if not the biggest, AAA games to hit mobile, and will have no compromises to be here. Stay tuned for my review of Alien Isolation on iOS. Anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with the latest and best games for Apple devices. My name's Stewie, and thanks for watching.